Furious 7 is the seventh installment in the Fast and Furious franchise, directed by James Wan. The film is a high-octane action spectacle that combines intense car stunts, a revenge-driven plot, and heartfelt moments, particularly in honor of Paul Walker, who tragically passed away during production. The movie centers on themes of family, loyalty, and vengeance, while delivering some of the most explosive action scenes in the series. Introduction, Revenge and Family. The movie begins by introducing Deckard Shaw, Jason Statham, the brother of Owen Shaw, the villain from Fast and Furious 6, who is seeking revenge on Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel, and his crew for putting Owen in a coma. Deckard is a highly skilled assassin and former Special Forces operative, making him a deadly adversary. His quest for vengeance begins with him attacking Luke Hobbs, Dwayne Johnson, leaving him hospitalized after a brutal fight in the DSS office. Deckard then goes after the rest of Dom's crew, starting with Han Sung-kong, who was killed in a fiery explosion in Tokyo, connecting back to the events of the Fast and the Furious. Tokyo Drift. Dom and his team realize that they are being hunted and must take the fight to Shaw. Recruiting the team. To protect his family, Dom gathers his crew, including Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker, Letty Ortiz, Michelle Rodriguez, Roman Pierce, Tyrese Gibson, and Tej Parker, Ludacris. Brian is struggling with the transition to family life with Mia, Jordana Brewster, and their son, as he misses the thrill of his former life. Dom is approached by Mr. Nobody, Kurt Russell, a government agent who offers him a deal. Help retrieve a powerful surveillance device called the God's Eye, which can track anyone anywhere in the world, and they'll help him find Deckard Shaw. The God's Eye is in the hands of a mercenary named Mose Jakande, Jimin Hun-soo, and the team must retrieve it to gain the upper hand against Shaw. The mission to retrieve God's Eye. The first major action sequence occurs in the Caucasus Mountains, where Dom's team performs a daring mid-air drop in their cars to ambush Jakande's convoy. In an intense chase, Brian infiltrates a bus holding Ramsey, Natalie Emanuel, a skilled hacker who created the God's Eye. After a thrilling rescue where Brian narrowly escapes death, Ramsey joins the team and helps them track down the device. The action then shifts to Abu Dhabi, where the God's Eye has been hidden in a supercar inside a high-security penthouse. In one of the movie's most iconic sequences, Dom and Brian drive the supercar through multiple skyscrapers to escape, narrowly surviving as they retrieve the device. Deckard Shaw strikes back. Despite gaining the God's Eye, the team is relentlessly pursued by Deckard Shaw, who manages to track them down at every turn. Shaw's persistence and brutal tactics push the team to their limits. As the stakes rise, it becomes clear that this battle is not just about revenge, but about survival. Back in Los Angeles, the final showdown begins. The team is forced to fight on multiple fronts. Deckard Shaw, who seeks personal revenge, and Mose Jakande, who wants the God's Eye. The climax takes place across the streets of LA, where Dom and his crew race against time to stop Jakande's drone and Shaw's attacks. The final showdown, Dom versus Shaw. The film's climactic fight sees Dom facing off one-on-one with Deckard Shaw in a brutal, high-stakes brawl. The two men fight atop a crumbling parking garage, mirroring their earlier encounter in the movie. Dom defeats Shaw by collapsing the structure beneath him using his car. Shaw is taken into custody, but Dom's victory comes at a cost. Meanwhile, Brian and the rest of the crew work together to disable the God's Eye and bring down Jakande's helicopter, culminating in an explosive aerial takedown that saves the city. Paul Walker's tribute. An emotional farewell. Furious 7's emotional core lies in its tribute to Paul Walker, whose character, Brian O'Connor, receives a heartfelt send-off. After the battle, the crew reflects on the importance of family and the bond they share. Dom quietly leaves the group, knowing that Brian is ready to retire and focus on his family. The final scene features Dom and Brian driving side by side one last time before they part ways at a fork in the road. The montage of past moments with Brian is set to Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth's See You Again, creating a deeply emotional farewell to Paul Walker and his character. The film closes with a message for Paul. In-depth breakdown, themes, action, and emotional weight. Family and loyalty. As with previous films in the Fast and Furious series, family is the central theme of Furious 7. The bond between Dom, Brian, and the rest of the crew is emphasized throughout the movie. Brian's struggle with settling down is a key subplot, as he tries to balance his thrill-seeking past with his responsibilities as a father. This theme is echoed in Dom's unwavering commitment to protect his family, even as they face overwhelming threats. Deckard Shaw as a villain. Jason Statham's portrayal of Deckard Shaw brings a formidable villain to the franchise. Unlike previous antagonists, Shaw is relentless, calculating, and driven purely by revenge. His role as the vengeful brother of Owen Shaw ties into the theme of familial loyalty, but on the darker side of the spectrum, showing how vengeance can corrupt. Action and spectacle. Furious 7 delivers some of the franchise's most over-the-top and thrilling action sequences. From the car drop over the Caucasus Mountains to the breathtaking skyscraper jump in Abu Dhabi, each action set piece is designed to push the limits of realism while maintaining the adrenaline-pumping excitement that the franchise is known for. Paul Walker's tribute. The emotional weight of Furious 7 comes from its tribute to Paul Walker. The filmmakers had to rewrite parts of the movie following Walker's tragic death, and his final scenes were completed using CGI and his brothers as stand-ins. The film's closing tribute, with See You Again playing over the montage of Brian's best moments, is one of the most touching farewells in cinema history. It celebrates both Walker's legacy and his character's growth throughout the series. The evolution of the franchise. Furious 7 marks a turning point for the Fast and Furious series, as it moves from street racing drama to globe-trotting action extravaganza. The stakes have never been higher, with the introduction of high-tech gadgets like the God's Eye and the involvement of a larger government organization through Mr. Nobody. This movie sets the stage for the larger-than-life action that continues in subsequent installments. Furious 7 is more than just an action movie, it's a heartfelt tribute to Paul Walker, a celebration of the bond between family, and a thrilling spectacle that pushes the boundaries of the Fast and Furious franchise. The film's blend of explosive action and emotional resonance makes it one of the standout entries in the series.